it is I. Now in Forza Horizon 5 you get some good sounding cars, some bad sounding cars, and more recently, you get cars which sound near enough identical to their real life counterpart. Now I want more of these sounds because although most of the car sounds in this game are pretty good, I wish they could sound as realistic as this. Which is why I'm here with this video, so let's hit 4,000 likes on this video if you want to help your boy out. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to this video. Now the Porsche Carrera GT in Forza Horizon 5 sounds like a V10, which is good, but the tone of the sound is completely wrong because it sounds way too low pitched for a Carrera GT. Anyways, if you compare the sound of this to a Carrera GT in real life, yep, it's so much more high pitched, which I absolutely love. I mean, the Carrera GT is notorious for the slow gear shift, which I love the sound of. And when people drive this car in real life, there is so much noise and drama, and then there's silence, and then there's so much noise again, and then there's silence. I mean, just watch this video of that car, yeah. I don't know, this sounds really good, but in Forza Horizon 5, it just doesn't give me the same feeling. To replicate the sound of the Carrera GT in real life, you need to use manual with clutch. I mean, listen to this. That's how a Carrera GT should sound. Honestly, that actually sounded a lot like a Carrera GT. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so maybe the sound of this car is not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe you just need to use manual with clutch. Now the Hellcat in Forza Horizon 5 has a really loud supercharger. I mean, have a listen to this. Oh, that sounds so good, and this is somewhat realistic because Hellcats do have really loud superchargers. But in real life, these Hellcats have a very distinctive supercharger sound which is not replicated in Forza Horizon 5. I mean, this is what they sound like in real life. And this is what it sounds like in Forza. I feel like it's too high pitched to be a supercharger from a Hellcat. Also, these Hellcats have automatic transmissions which sort of fade to the next gear, if you get what I mean. Do you get what I mean? But in Forza Horizon 5, it shifts so quick, it's almost like a PDK. So yeah, man, I really hope they change the sound of the supercharger whine, perhaps make the whine a little bit louder and make the automatic transmission sort of fade to the next gear. And after all those changes, I feel like the Hellcat will finally sound like a proper Hellcat. Okay, now the BMW M4 in Forza Horizon 4 sounded absolutely terrible. And in Forza Horizon 5, this is a huge improvement because the sound of this car's engine under load is very realistic. I mean, listen to this. You know what, I think they did a really good job with the sound of this car. But there's one tiny detail that's missing from the sound of this car in Forza Horizon 5. Because M2s in real life have this very distinctive overrun sound with these really artificial sounding pops. But in Forza Horizon 5, you don't get that whatsoever. You just get the generic Forza backfire and yeah, that's about it. So yeah man, don't get me wrong, this is not an awful sounding car in Forza Horizon 5, it actually sounds really good. But if this car had those realistic overrun pops and bangs, then oh my days, this car would have sounded so much better. Okay, now don't get me wrong, the Stupid Hellcat, what are you doing? Anyways, don't get me wrong, the Vulcan in this game does not sound bad whatsoever. I mean, listen to this. You know what, it actually sounds pretty good. But after hearing the glorious sound of the Ascenza SCV12, I just feel like all the race cars in this game sound so dull. I mean, just listen to the Essenza right now. Oh my days, that rev limiter, oh so good, and the shifts as well, oh my days. And now listen to the Vulcan in a tunnel. Even in a tunnel, this car sounds so tame compared to the Essenza. So yeah, man, I really hope they do what they did to the Essenza sound to the Vulcan in this game, because then this car would sound so much better. And also, imagine if the brakes actually screech like they do in real life. Oh, that would be so cool. Now to me, basically all V8 muscle cars sound the same. I know I'm going to trigger a lot of Americans right there, but they just sound the same. But there's one V8 engine that sounds very distinctive, and that car's the GT350R, because this car has a Voodoo V8, I believe. And in real life, oh my days, this car sounds so good. It almost has this sort of like V6 tone to it. So yep, it's kind of like a raspy V8. I mean, have a listen to this. You get what I mean? That's a very distinctive sound, but in Forza Horizon 5, well, have a listen to this. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound anywhere near as raspy as this car sounds in real life. I mean, it kind of sounds like a generic V8 in my opinion. Okay, now you might be saying the sound of this car in real life is a very hard sound to replicate in real life, which may be true, but it's not, because in Forza Motorsport 7, a game from 2017 I believe, the developers absolutely nailed the sound of this car. I mean, have a listen to this. Oh, it just sounds amazing. So yeah man, this sound file in Forza Horizon 5 will be very much appreciated. Jesus Christ, Alex, what are you doing? Now this is the 991 911 GT3 RS, which is a very good sounding car. Anyways, this car is meant to have a PDK gearbox, which is very quick to shift with, and you know, it kind of sounds a bit like this. You know, it's quick, it's instant, it's sharp, it has no delay. But in Forza Horizon 5... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still quick, but there's a bit of a delay compared to real life. Also, I feel like they got the tone of the sound a little bit wrong. Like, I feel like the GT3 RS should be so much more higher pitched. And also, do you hear those mechanical winding sounds? Those sound like straight cut gears to me, and I feel like that sound should not belong on a GT3 RS, on a stock GT3 RS. So yeah man, don't get me wrong, this car does not sound bad, but I feel like they could have made this car sound so much better. Now the Volkswagen Corrado is known for two things, being Forza Horizon 1's cover car and the iconic VR6 engine. Okay, now typically VR6s sound kind of similar to V6s. I mean, they are kind of like the same engine, but they're not really the same engine. I mean, you know what I mean, they're raspy and they have that sort of kind of sound. Like, I mean, have a listen to this. Very nice and raspy, but in Forza Horizon 5, have a listen to this car. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but that sounds like a straight 6 to me. Whereas in the old Forza games, they actually got the sound of the VR6 absolutely spot on. I mean, even Forza Horizon 4 did a great job with the sounds, and the sounds in that game are absolute dog shit. So yeah, Forza Horizon 5, I know that you can kind of like modify this car and make it sound a lot raspier, which is very nice, but I feel like this car stock should have sounded a lot more raspier. Now the Jaguar XE S is powered by the same crackly V6 engine that you'll find in the F-Type. And just like the F-Type, this car properly crackles and pops in real life. Oh, it sounds so good, and this is in stock form as well. But in Forza Horizon 5, well, listen to this. It feels so soulless, it doesn't sound like an XE. I mean, there are no crackles, the V6 tone is very generic, and it's just so tame. It doesn't sound like how it's meant to sound. So yeah man, I would've loved those V6 crackles with this car in this game because the XE S just sounds so boring in Forza Horizon 5. They just didn't do the sound justice. Now the Maserati GranTurismo is easily one of the best sounding cars ever made. I mean, have a listen to this. Oh, gorgeous, this car sounds beautiful. But in Forza Horizon 5, it sounds alright, I guess, but the developers have not done this car justice for how good this car sounds in real life. Why haven't you? Oh my days. I mean, Forza Horizon 3 did the sound of the Gran Turismo a little bit better. I mean, listen to this. That sounds pretty good, but I feel like no racing game in the world has perfected the sound of this car. Mate, not even Assetto Corsa modders could perfect the sound of this car. That's how good this car sounds. So yeah man, if Playground Games are gonna update any car sounds anytime soon, then this needs to be on the top of their priority list. Because once this car genuinely sounds like a proper Maserati V8, then oh my days, people would drive this car all the time. Okay, now when you think of AMG G-Wagons, you probably think of big shouty V8 engines. However, the G65 which I'm driving right now actually has a 6-litre twin-turbo V12. Okay, now you might be thinking, oh, a 6-litre V12, so this car's gonna be really shouty. And no, because in real life, this car is actually somewhat civilized and quiet. I mean, have a listen to this. Do you get what I mean? Very civilized and somewhat quiet. But in Forza Horizon 5, this is what a stock G65 sounds like. Now don't get me wrong, I do like the sound of this car. I think it sounds absolutely amazing for a G-Wagon. But I do also like how gentle this car sounds in real life. So I wish they could have made this car sound really gentle when it's stock. And maybe have this sound as one of the modified exhaust system sounds for this car. Because I feel like this car would be very cool if it sounded very gentle. I cannot drive in this game. Hello there. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to watch this video. Yeah, watch it right now. And if you're subscribed here, press this button down below here. I didn't speak English there. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Cheers.